What if I told you that waiting is the biggest risk to your dreams? Every second you spend hoping for the right moment, the perfect opportunity, or a sign from the universe is actually time. You're losing time that could be spent building, growing, and becoming. The truth is, success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who move. Psychology tells us that our brains are wired to seek comfort and avoid uncertainty, which is why taking action often feels so difficult. But those who rise above this wiring, those who take initiative and act before they're ready, creating their own momentum, are the ones who achieve extraordinary things. From self-made entrepreneurs to artists who built empires from their bedrooms. The stories of success all point back to one thing: they didn't wait. In this video, you're going to learn exactly how to stop waiting and start creating. We'll dive into why waiting holds you back more than you think, how to shift from a passive mindset to a proactive one, the real practical steps to start generating your own opportunities, and the inspiring true stories of people who changed their lives the moment they stopped waiting. This could be the wake-up call that changes everything. Let's get into it. Why waiting holds you back. Waiting seems harmless. It feels safe, familiar, and sometimes even responsible. We convince ourselves that we're just being patient, that we're gathering information, preparing, or waiting for the right moment. But here's the hard truth. Waiting is often disguised fear. It's procrastination in a prettier outfit. It's indecision, wearing the mask of strategy. And the longer we wait, the more momentum we lose, because life doesn't pause while we hesitate. It keeps moving, and so do the opportunities. Inaction breeds doubt and stagnation, not clarity. Every day you wait, you subconsciously reinforce the idea that you're not ready, not capable, or not deserving. That belief starts to shape your identity. Suddenly, you're not just someone who hasn't acted, you're someone who doesn't act. And over time, that identity hardens into your reality. The psychology behind waiting. The human brain is wired for survival, not success. Our ancient wiring seeks to avoid risk and discomfort. Back then, discomfort meant danger. Today, discomfort might mean starting a business, asking for a raise, or moving to a new city. But your brain still treats it like a threat. So, what do? We stay put. We wait. We rationalize. We convince ourselves we're being responsible, when in reality, we're avoiding the very thing that could change our lives. This is the paradox. While you're waiting for the perfect conditions, someone else with fewer resources, less experience, and more fear is taking action, and they're winning. Not because they're better, but because they moved. Think about the myth of perfect timing. It doesn't exist. There's no magical alignment of the stars that suddenly makes everything easy. The people who are out there succeeding didn't wait for things to be perfect. They acted despite the imperfections. Jeff Bezos started Amazon in a garage. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for TV. Elon Musk risked everything multiple times. They didn't wait for a green light. They ran every red one in pursuit of something greater. And more importantly, they failed a lot. But every failure gave them more clarity and feedback than any amount of waiting ever could. Action leads to clarity. Waiting leads to nothing but more waiting. What happens when you wait too long? Opportunities pass you by. The job you didn't apply for. Someone else with less experience just got it. The idea you didn't act on. It's now someone else's thriving brand online. That person you didn't reach out to. They're building with someone else. Life rewards movement. It responds to energy, not hesitation. Waiting is like standing on the edge of a diving board, analyzing the water over and over, while other people are already swimming, learning and growing. You don't learn to swim by reading about swimming. You learn by jumping in, flailing a little and figuring it out. Waiting also becomes a habit. The more you do it, the easier it becomes to justify. You start thinking, I'll do it next week. I just need to feel more confident, or maybe when things settle down. But here's the truth. Confidence doesn't come before action. It comes from action. Waiting to feel confident before taking action is like waiting to get stronger before going to the gym. You build strength by showing up, not by standing still. Actionable steps to create your own opportunities. Now that we understand why waiting holds us back and how shifting to a proactive mindset can change everything, the next step is to dive into real actionable strategies that will help you create your own opportunities starting now. The first and most powerful strategy is to become a master of self-initiated momentum. This means you stop waiting for motivation and start relying on systems. Motivation is unreliable. It's fleeting, emotional, and often absent when you need it most. But systems, habits, routines, time blocks, those are the real drivers of momentum. When you systematize your goals, you don't have to debate with yourself every day. You simply follow the plan. For example, if you're building a side hustle, block 1 hour every morning to work on it before distractions hit. If you want to improve your health, schedule workouts like appointments. Remove the decision-making. Remove the resistance. Using the 2-minute rule. Another powerful tool is the 2-minute rule. This strategy, made famous by productivity expert James Clear, suggests that any task that takes less than 2 minutes should be done immediately. But it goes beyond that. It's also about lowering the barrier to starting. If you've been putting off writing a blog, don't commit to finishing a full article. Just commit to writing for 2 minutes. If you've been avoiding that call or application, just commit to opening the page or dialing the number. Once you start, momentum takes over. The hardest part is never the task itself. It's starting the task. Overcome that first moment of resistance, and you'll often find yourself doing far more than you planned. Taking control of your environment. Next, take control of your environment. Your surroundings either trigger action or reinforce stagnation. If your workspace is cluttered, distracting, or uninspiring, you're far more likely to procrastinate. But if your environment is optimized to support your goals, clean, clear, filled with visual cues and tools, you'll find it easier to act. Keep your goals visible. Put reminders where you can see them. Surround yourself with people who move, who build, who are chasing their dreams. Energy is contagious. And when your environment supports your ambition, action becomes natural rather than forced. The power of micro goals. Then there's the power of micro goals. Big goals can be paralyzing. They feel overwhelming, so we put them off, but when you break them down into small, actionable pieces, you remove the mental roadblock. Instead of saying, "I want to write a book," say, "I'm going to write 300 words today." Instead of, "I want to launch a business," say, "Today I'm going to register the domain name." These micro goals are like stepping stones. You only need to see the next step, not the whole staircase. Over time, those steps add up, and what once felt impossible becomes inevitable. Embracing the imperfect first version. Another important shift is embracing the imperfect first version. Perfectionism is the enemy of action. So many people delay because they want everything to be flawless before they begin. But nothing great ever starts perfect. Your first video, your first product, your first pitch, they're supposed to be rough. The goal is to get it out there, get feedback, and iterate. Done is better than perfect because perfect never comes. Think about some of the most successful creators, entrepreneurs, or leaders. They didn't wait until everything was perfect. They started scrappy. They failed publicly. They adjusted as they went. And that's exactly why they succeeded. You have to give yourself permission to be bad before you're great. The power of accountability. Accountability is another powerful force. When you involve others in your goals through public declarations, accountability partners, or mastermind groups, you create external pressure that reinforces internal drive. Tell someone your goal. Set a deadline. Put something on the line. Accountability forces action because it introduces stakes. You're no longer just letting yourself down. You're letting others down too, and that added pressure can often be the push you need to break through procrastination and start showing up consistently. Building the habit of daily action. You also need to build a habit of daily action, no matter how small. Creating your own opportunities isn't about waiting for a once-in-a-lifetime breakthrough. It's about showing up every single day and stacking small wins. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. 1 hour a day for 30 days beats one 15-hour sprint, followed by burnout. You don't need to move mountains. You need to move consistently. Action, no matter how small, builds momentum. And momentum once built is incredibly hard to stop. Embracing the mindset of experimentation. Let's not forget the mindset of experimentation. When you create your own opportunities, you have to become okay with trial and error. You'll launch things that flop. You'll reach out to people who never respond. You'll pitch ideas that get rejected. And that's okay. That's the price of entry to a life of purpose and self-created success. You're not failing, you're testing. Every action gives you data, feedback, and clarity. The people who win aren't the ones who get it right every time. They're the ones who stay in motion long enough to find what works. Embracing identity alignment. Finally, embrace identity alignment. Start asking yourself, what would a proactive version of me do today? Then do that. When you align your actions with the identity you want to build, you become that person over time. If you see yourself as a leader, an entrepreneur, or a creator, start acting like one now, not later, not when it's perfect. Your actions create your identity, and your identity shapes your future. So if you want to stop waiting and start creating your own opportunities, you must take action. Any action, every day. Real-life stories of people who stopped waiting. Now that we've explored why waiting holds you back, how to shift your mindset from passive to proactive, and the actionable strategies you can use to start creating your own opportunities. It's time to bring it all to life with real-world proof. There's nothing more powerful than hearing stories of people who stopped, waiting, took charge of their lives, and made incredible things happen. These aren't fairy tales or overnight success stories. These are moments of boldness, decisions made in uncertainty, and consistent effort that changed lives. Maya's story, from corporate job to handmade jewelry brand. Let's begin with a story of a young woman named Maya. Maya worked in a corporate job. She hated spending her days dreaming about starting a handmade jewelry brand. For 2 years, she told herself it wasn't the right time. She needed more money, more time, more experience. But one day, fed up with feeling stuck, she stopped waiting. She created an Instagram account, posted her first designs, and committed to making one small move every day. She designed before work, promoted during lunch breaks, and fulfilled orders on weekends. A year later, she quit her job. Her jewelry brand didn't just replace her salary, it gave her a life of freedom, purpose, and creative joy. And it all started with the decision to stop waiting. Darnell's story, from small town to motivational speaker. Then there's the story of Darnell, a guy from a small town who wanted to become a motivational speaker. But instead of waiting for someone to discover him or invite him to speak, he started recording short videos on his phone and posting them to social media. At first, no one watched. Then a few did. Then a few thousand. He didn't stop. He kept posting daily. Improving, growing, learning. Today, Darnell travels the world speaking to crowds of thousands, and it all began in his bedroom, speaking into a phone camera with no audience, just belief and relentless action. He didn't wait for permission. He gave himself permission. Elena's story. Single mom to YouTube chef. Another powerful story is that of Elena, a single mom who wanted to build a better life for her kids but felt trapped in survival mode. She had a passion for cooking but thought the culinary world was out of reach. Still, she started posting cooking videos on YouTube late at night. After putting her kids to bed, She learned video editing on her phone, promoted her content on Facebook groups, and slowly grew a following. A year later, she was offered a cookbook deal and sponsorships. Her content now supports her family, and she's building generational wealth, all because she stopped waiting and started with what she had. The common thread. What these stories have in common is not magic access or perfection. They share a commitment to action. These people didn't know exactly how things would unfold. They didn't have all the answers. They just chose to move forward anyway. And because they did, doors opened. Not magically, but because movement creates opportunity. When you're in motion, people notice, resources appear. Peer ideas evolve. You connect with others who are also in motion. That's when collaboration happens. That's when the right people find you. That's when opportunities multiply. Creating opportunities by moving. So when you look at Maya Darnell and Elena, these aren't meant to make you feel like you're behind. They're meant to show you what's possible. They were ordinary people who made extraordinary decisions. And so can you. The path won't be perfect. You'll stumble. You'll get discouraged. You'll have moments of doubt. But if you stay in motion, if you keep moving forward, those moments won't define you. Your action will. Because in the end, the people who win aren't the ones who waited for the perfect moment. They're the ones who took a deep breath, started where they were, and made something happen. The truth about opportunity. The truth about opportunity is this: it rarely knocks. You have to build the door, and every single day is a chance to lay one more brick in that door. Whether it's a small step, a bold leap, or just one more try. Action is the bridge between dreams and reality. So the question now isn't, when will the opportunity come? It's, will you be in motion when it does? Because opportunities don't wait for you. So why are you still waiting for them? Start building, start moving, and watch what happens next. Shattering the myth of waiting for the right moment. Throughout this video, we've shattered the myth that you need to wait for the right moment, the perfect plan, or someone's permission to chase your goals. You don't. You already have what you need: your ideas, your desire, and the ability to act. It all starts with one small move: sending that email, making that call, sharing that post, creating that product, or simply deciding that today you're done waiting. Because every single success story starts not with luck, but with motion. So I challenge you right now, what are you waiting for? Seriously pause and ask yourself that. Whatever reason you've been telling yourself, it's time to let it go. Because the longer you wait, the longer you stay stuck. The world doesn't owe you the opportunity. You owe it to yourself to create one. The reality of creating opportunity. The reality is, clear opportunities are not handed out like gifts. They are built, carved, and claimed by those bold enough to take the first step. It doesn't matter if you don't feel ready, if you don't have all the answers, or if everything isn't perfect. The only thing that matters is taking that first step and creating your momentum. The truth is, there is no perfect moment. There is no green light that suddenly turns on and says, now it's time to act. No one is going to hand you your dreams. It's up to you to create them, one action at a time. Empowering yourself to take action. The power to shape your life and achieve your goals lies within your own hands. You can't keep waiting for life to give you the opportunity. You must create your own. And it starts with the simple decision to take action. Start small, but start now. Every action you take, no matter how minor, creates momentum. And that momentum will eventually propel you forward in ways you can't even imagine. Realizing the power of consistency. Consistency is key to making real progress. You don't need to move mountains. You need to show up consistently, day after day. A small action taken every day builds up over time and compounds into something much bigger than you might have initially expected. It's not the dramatic one-time efforts that lead to success. It's the steady, consistent actions that move the needle over time. Taking ownership of your future. To create your opportunities, you must take ownership of your life. Stop waiting for someone else to choose you. Stop hoping for a miracle to happen. The power to change your life is already in your hands. All you need to do is decide to act. Own your choices, own your actions, and create the future you've always dreamed of. It's not about waiting for someone to give you permission or for the perfect timing. It's about realizing that the opportunity to succeed is something you create. Every time you choose to act, you reinforce your belief in yourself, and that belief will drive you toward greater success. Action as the key to building confidence. Confidence isn't something that comes before you take action. It comes from taking action. When you make the decision to show up to try to move forward even when you're uncertain, you build confidence in yourself. Every time you act, you prove to yourself that you can handle what comes next. You can build confidence step by step with every action you take. The more you take action, the more confidence you gain. You won't ever feel 100% ready, and that's okay. Start with what you have, and trust that the confidence will grow as you continue to take steps toward your goals. Stop waiting for permission. Many of us wait because we think we need permission from our boss, our family, our friends, or society. But the truth is, you don't need anyone's permission to pursue your dreams. You are the only person who can give yourself the green light. Stop waiting for someone else to tell you it's your time. It's your time when you decide it's your time. And that decision can happen today, right now. You are not at the mercy of anyone else's approval or validation. Your path to success is yours to create. Own it, decide that you won't wait for permission anymore, and take the steps that will move you closer to your dreams. Moving beyond fear and doubt. Fear and doubt often keep us stuck in the waiting game, but here's the truth. Fear is not a stop sign. It's a signal that you're on the verge of something important. When you're afraid, it's usually because you're pushing yourself into new territory. And that's where the growth happens. Don't let fear stop you from taking action. Instead, use it as fuel to move forward. Fear doesn't disappear, but you can make it work for you. When you decide to act in spite of fear, you build resilience, and every time you face your fear head-on, you take control of it. So take that first step and let your actions turn fear into confidence. Momentum creates opportunities. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to get started. But once you begin, momentum kicks in. At first, it will be hard to take that first step, but as soon as you make it, you'll begin to pick up speed. The more you move, the more opportunities will present themselves. Momentum breeds more momentum. Once you start, the next step becomes easier, and the next after that, and so on. Don't let the fear of starting keep you from achieving your goals. The hardest part is often the beginning. Once you get going, you'll realize that the more you act, the more doors will open. Small wins lead to big success. Small actions done consistently lead to big results. Every day you take action, no matter how small you are, moving closer to your goals. It's the compound effect of these small wins that will build up over time. You don't have to make huge changes all at once. Just take the next step, no matter how small, and build on that. It's not about the big moments. It's about the daily actions that move you closer to your vision. Start with one step, and then take another and another. Over time, you'll look back and realize how far you've come. And it will all be because of the small, consistent actions you took along the way. Your future starts with action. The future you dream of is not something that's going to magically fall into your lap. You have to create it, and that creation starts with action. Don't wait for the perfect time, the perfect plan, or the perfect moment. Take the next step. Do it now. Build the momentum that will carry you forward. You are the architect of your future, and every action you take is a brick that builds your path to success. Stop waiting. Start creating.